start you off with a little Brandon Hart. Start your day off. It's a little early here yet. My boy. Enjoy this. Hey, if you dig what this guy's doing, you can catch him. He's got a virtual concert.
What happened to being nice without reason, man? All I see on TV and the paper stands is the lies that they feed to keep
you
me
check
up
it out
ahead.
at BrandonHartMusic.com. $7. You can see the dude play live. You'd be helping him out a lot, you know? Buy some merch or something. Anyway, be right back here.
Yeah, divided we fall, but together we in this. What happened to neighbors? When do we start seeing each other as strangers? It's on us to change this, and they gon' know us by a light. By the end of the night, we gon' burn down London, fire in the streets of Chicago. You gon' hear us coming like thunder. There's riots on the streets that we're coming for you. Burn down LA, fire in the streets of New York City. No sleep, no slumber. There's riots on the streets that we're coming for you. Giving love just to get it back. We're so used to being wrong, so we feel attacked. We don't take it as a gift, but something more attached. Now we don't know how to live or forgive our past. Hey, so it's bleeding on every single thing that we have. But we leaning on these feelings whenever we sad. And we figure that nothing even better will have. So we sit here feeling even more detached. Yeah. I don't know about you, but I could use a little room to let the light through. I could use some good times and some bright news, but this won't happen unless we learn to fight too. What happened to neighbors? When did we start seeing each other as strangers? It's on us to change this, and they gon' know us by a light. By the end of the night, we gon' burn down London, fire in the streets of Chicago. You gon' hear us coming like thunder. There's riots on the streets that we're coming for you. Burn down LA, fire in the streets of New York City. No sleep, no slumber. There's riots on the streets that we're coming for you.
Turn off your radio. Shut off your TV. Put down your phone and open your eyes.
Turn on the YouTube.
How to make us hate each other and hate divides us. Only
Turn the
love
play
can
down.
bring us together. Time to fight for one another.
See right there, that's where it's about. I like that at that end right there. He's talking about time to fight for one another instead of with one another. And I like that. I think that's a good way to start the day. It's a good way to think about it, you know. I know I've been guilty of getting caught up in a lot of this bullshit going on. And you know, sometimes anger's a gift, like Zach De La Roca from Rage Against the Machine. So adequately coined in that song back in the 90s. And I think there is a time for that. I'm just going to read a couple things this morning. And I know that sounds a little boring, but maybe it'll get y'all started, right? You know, I don't want to get too long-winded. It's early. But I've been up early this morning listening to Carl Sagan. I don't know if any of you guys I'm sure you guys are familiar with Carl Sagan. The guy was a genius. And he wrote a book called Pale Blue Dot. And you know, one of the excerpts from that, you know, is based on a photo taken from Voyager 1 on Valentine's Day in 1990. And all you can see out there in the distance from Voyager 1 is this little dot. It's Earth, and that's us, you know. And he wrote this thing about it, you know. And I mean, maybe I'm late to the party, you know what I mean? I probably am. You're probably ahead of me. But this hit me this morning, and kind of gave me a little bit of a different perspective on things. I mean, I've been, you know, I've been finding myself caught up in, you know, a lot of anger and just the way things are going. It seems like we're off. But hey, you know, the thing is that the other thing I always try to come back to is that through us all basically linking arms, shaking hands over the fence, getting to know one another. That's why I played that song, the Neighbors song. I mean, I think that's a great song because he's like, whatever happened to neighbors, you know? And what did happen to that? And I mean, by neighbors, I'm not just even talking about my neighbors on each side of my house. I'm talking about, I mean, any of us on this rock. If you look at it from the perspective of that photo that I looked at this morning that prompted him to write what I'm going to read to you, we're all neighbors. You know what I mean? And we got to be good, kind to one another. And But life is a duality as well. So we also have to be fierce and fearless in the face of tyrants and tyranny. And so I honestly think that as long as we're united as people, that tyrants and tyranny, they don't have an opportunity to sneak in. So that's something to think about, and I'm thinking about that a lot today. I mean, as long as we're divided, with one another, and I don't give it. Who cares about your political affiliation? Because we're coming upon I think a real split in things is I mean we're already split, but I think that things are gonna, they could get ugly here. And I'm not going to get into the whole thing about money versus currency and hyperinflation and all that. I just want to read this. This is something that Carl Sagan wrote in his book called Pale Blue Dot, and I think this is great. And I mean, it gives you some perspective on what the hell we're doing, because we're all just spinning on this rock. We don't know what the hell we're doing. We've got a very fucking short time here, man. I mean, it's here and it's gone, and our little bit of time here means nothing. So we might as well, take care of each other. So anyway, it starts off with, says, look again at that dot. That's here. That's home. That's us. On it, everyone you love, everyone you know, everyone you ever heard of, every human being who ever was, lived out their lives. The aggregate of our joy and suffering, thousands of confident religions, ideologies, and economic doctrines, every hunter and forager, every hero and coward, every creator and destroyer of civilization, every king and peasant, every young couple in love, every mother and father, hopeful child, inventor and explorer, every teacher of morals, every corrupt politician, every superstar, every supreme leader, every saint and sinner in the history of our species lived there, on a mote of dust suspended in a sunbeam. The earth is a very small stage in a vast cosmic arena. Think of the rivers of blood spilled by all those generals, emperors, so that in glory and triumph they could become the momentary masters of a fraction of a dot. Think of the endless cruelties visited by the inhabitants of one corner of this pixel on the scarcely distinguishable inhabitants of some other corner. How frequent their misunderstandings, how eager they are to kill one another, how fervent their hatreds. Wow. Our posturings, our imagined self-importance, the delusion that we have some privileged position in the universe are challenged by this point of pale light. Our planet is a lonely speck in the great enveloping cosmic dark. In our obscurity, in all this vastness, there is no hint that help will come from elsewhere to save us from ourselves. The earth is the only world known so far to harbor life. There is nowhere else, at least in the near future, to which our species could migrate. Visit, yes. Settle, not yet. Like it or not, for the moment, the earth is where we make our stand. It's been said that astronomy is a humbling and character-building experience. There is perhaps no better demonstration of the folly of human conceits than this distant image of our tiny world. To me, it underscores our responsibility to deal more kindly with one another and to reserve and cherish the pale blue dot, the only home we've ever known. May 11th, 1996, written by Carl Sagan, rest in peace. He passed away in 1996. I don't know. That's some pretty heavy shit right there, I think. I don't know what you all think. I guess sound off and let me know. But I thought that was kind of a good way to start my day off. Just kind of a decent perspective on things. I think one of the moments in my life that I realized that, I was very much a speck was in 2001, February 28th to be exact. And on that day, a fairly big earthquake hit Seattle. And I'd never been in an earthquake. I've been in tornadoes. I've been in hurricanes, forest fires, whatever other predicament. But the earthquake, that was one that, I think everybody on that job I was working on, and everybody in Seattle. I mean, I had a buddy that was actually up welding. If any of you are familiar with the stadium where the Seahawks play in Seattle, They have those big, huge cross beams going across there. And he was actually up there welding when that hit. I was only 3 stories up. But I mean, I had to sit there and contemplate my existence there. Like, holy shit. Like, I'm just a speck. I was like, when Mother Nature decides she's had enough, and ain't nothing we can do about it. So I think rather than, we sit around, we argue about, the veracity of this, that, and the other thing, and we fight all these, this political bullshit. And we have to be informed. We got to know what's going on. And the reason I think that I take so much interest in it is because I am interested in my neighbors, my fellow human beings. I want to see good for everybody. I've never been able to wrap my head around the fact that there's people that are just born into this life that just are basically like they're stuck into a life of suffering, born into war-torn nations, starvation, disease, slavery. I mean, you've got, child sex traffickers. You've got all these horrible things out there. And I always had, and I still do have an issue with, you want to pray by all means. I'm not saying anything about that, but I always had an issue with, especially like when I was playing baseball and we'd have these prayers before games that like God would help us be victorious or whatever in our stupid game. And I could never understand that. And I could never understand the whole concept of proud to be an American. Now, do I love my country? Of course I do. I love this country. I love where I live. But I also have a lot of love I've got love for everybody anywhere on this planet, And we're in a tough time right now because we've got a lot of people that are coming in, they're seeking refuge in this country. And we have a tendency to look negatively upon that. And I'm not advocating for open borders or anything like that. I think that we need to come to a way to get people into the country, to assimilate, I guess is what I should be saying. And I'm not even talking about, you don't speak English and get that. I mean, it's what, most people that speak Spanish also speak English. I don't know too many people that speak Spanish. I mean, I was talking to my co-host Ricardo the other night about that, and I was telling him, I can understand Spanish. I haven't spoken in quite some time. I'd like to get back on that, but I mean, in America, we're probably. I mean, I'm trying to think of any other countries out there where people don't learn a second language. And when we finally start to learn one in our education system, it's like too late. I mean, like you need to teach a kid a second language, like 4 or 5 years old. That's neither here nor there, but it definitely helps when it comes to communicating and understanding other people. I mean, there's a lot of countries where individuals know, a ton of different languages. Like for example, like I was listening to an interview like a cut-up interview with Viggo Mortensen. And I mean, he was speaking in Mandarin, and but he did an interview. I think it was in Norwegian and German. I mean, that man, he knows a lot of languages. It's pretty impressive. I wish I did. I mean, really. I mean, and you get such a big advantage from that. And I think in doing so, you're being able to communicate with your brothers and sisters out there, because we're all brothers and sisters. I mean, and we're just on this rock. We're hurtling through space at breakneck speeds that we don't even fathom. And such a short time, and all we want to do is fight with each other. We want to spill blood. We want to argue over religion. How stupid is that? How silly is that? And you can't sit here and tell me, if you read the Quran and you read the Bible, you can't tell me that one is more violent than the other. That Old Testament of the Bible is one of the most violent things I've ever read. Sit down and read it. Check it out. Read the Quran. Check it out. I mean, it doesn't really mean anything because we're all brothers and sisters. It doesn't matter, And we've got this hatred for one another. It's just silly. It's stupid. What I have a distaste for are the oligarchs, the people in power that want to keep us down, the people that want power, and that's what it comes down to. Is it's power. It's not even about and I'm not. It's currency. It's not even money because we don't even have a system based on money right now. It's currency, and we're getting ready to go right back in, jump right back in, and everybody's gonna say, "Oh, they're gonna print this money." They ain't printing no money. There's no money being printed. I don't know how many times I got to reiterate this to people. It's not being printed. It's a keystroke, and I will try to fall back and put some links at the bottom of this video where you can check some of that stuff out and look at it for yourself. I mean, that's all I'm asking. Think about it for yourself. Think critically about what's going on. But by thinking critically, you can't involve, a dislike and hate towards your brothers and sisters. I mean, what we got to do is we got to realize that we're the majority. We need to come together and we need to make this life what it can be for all of us because there's plenty to go around. We can all be okay. There are no reason to have this homeless problem. Granted, you're going to have the mentally ill. You're going to have people that are going to want to be on the streets. A lot of those people that are on the street, though, you're talking about guys that are vets that are suffering from PTSD because of the shit that they had to do overseas. I mean, I don't know if anybody saw the gentleman that was at that was there yelling at George Bush Jr. the other day. And I don't know how George Bush Jr. all of a sudden became some beacon of hope or whatever. It's crazy. Like the Democratic Party loves that guy. I don't want to get into politics, but that dude was a warmonger, and he was a war criminal, and so was Dick Cheney and Donald Rumsfeld. I mean, there's 1 million dead Iraqis behind their lies. And how many American soldiers died behind their lies? We should have never been in Iraq. There were no weapons of mass destruction. We were lied to. We continue to be lied to. And we continue to accept it. And that's a problem. So my challenge is, hey, you don't have to, it doesn't have to be a political thing, but how can you live your life when you know that what you're living is a lie? That what you're accepting on the news and all this shit is a lie. That just and just putting the blinders on and going to dance class and baseball practice and soccer practice and your little trips to Costco and that and just like not even paying attention. I mean, think about it. Think about all the millions of people there are on this planet that would absolutely flip their lids if you were to take them into a Costco. Can you imagine? I mean, some of the children in these countries where there's just massive suffering. Can you imagine taking one of those children to a Costco and pointing at just cases of water? Here you go. What do you want to eat? I mean, those are things that there's a great majority of people on this planet have never had that opportunity. They've never had that chance to, even going to like a grocery store like we have. I mean, we live these lives of luxury and it's made us complacent and content. And it's allowed this to happen. And like I said, I love this country. And I love everybody on this planet who does not have, bad intentions. But you're going to have that. You're going to have people with bad intentions because life is duality. And you can't have good without evil. That's just the way it goes. And I know I've gone through a big existential, I don't know, I wouldn't call it a crisis, but a questioning of all these things. And I find myself getting upset about this and that and the other thing. And then I look at all that I have and how fortunate that I am. And I really am. I mean, and globally, I'm in the top 1%, regardless of how silly and goofy my stupid ass problems are from day to day. I got it pretty fucking good, especially for, for going through and coming back from what I did, it's, I don't know. So anyway, I really liked that excerpt from that book, and I'm going to go back and read some more of it. And I would encourage anybody to check out Carl Sagan. I mean, that guy was a genius. He had like 4 degrees from the University of Chicago. Professor, just a really brilliant mind. And you listen to the way the man talks about, the cosmos and the universe, and he kind of puts it in perspective about how small we really are. I mean, we really don't mean much. So it'd be, I don't know. I'm going to try and, in my personal life, I'm going to try and do better to, I always try and take care of people. I do. And sometimes I put myself out there too far. But really, what's it matter? I mean, at the end of it, what do you have? I mean, you're going to sit there on your deathbed, shake, quiver, go out of this world, clutching your gold, clutching your dollar bills, hanging on to that bank account. I mean, when we leave, we have those we loved and those who loved us, and we have the memories, and we leave this car, and our energy moves on, and nobody knows where it goes. And religion doesn't explain it either. I mean, you look at like the motives of religion, it's just to get to the happy place in the sky. I mean, I don't think that sounds like a very good time. Sitting up there listening to harp music, and I mean, especially if it's with the dude that brought all this about. Because I mean, you got to admit, I mean, like Carlin said, he didn't think that God was a man or he didn't think that God was a female because a female would never fuck shit up as bad as this. No female would ever screw it up as bad as this. I mean, go back and listen to George Carlin too if you want to talk about religion. I don't want to get into that whole thing. I just think about these things. But I thought that was pretty cool from Sagan, just looking at it from a standpoint of seeing a photo of this spinning little speck of stardust, and that's all we are. I mean, you think about the universe, or even our concept of the universe. We don't even know. We could be in the Matrix for all we knew. But the main thing that I guess I wanted to get across was we're sitting here spinning and we're hurtling through space, and we hate these people, and these people hate us, or whatever the collective us is. I try to put myself in a position where I'm not hating on anybody, really, except the only people I hate on is these tyrants. And I think that when I say in all things be kind, but be fierce in the face of tyranny, in my personal life, that sums it up. I'm going to stand tall. I'm not going to let somebody be a tyrant. I'm not going to let somebody exercise tyranny. I'm not going to put up with hatred. I'm not going to put up with bigotry. I'm not going to put up with that shit. I'm not going to put up with unnecessary violence. I'm not going to put up with people's property being destroyed, people's lives being destroyed. And I mean, I think we've been fed a big lie. I honestly believe that, and I think it's time that we wake up. I mean, it's that red pill, blue pill time. What's it going to be? What's it going to be, Neo or Nia? Whichever you happen to be. I don't care. Anyway, on that note, I'm going to take us out. I just wanted to keep it short, but I rambled a little bit too long. I hope you all have a really great day. Get some rest, relax. Get ready for that big work week. Time to punch that clock tomorrow, huh? I won't be. I'm going to go out there and keep working on my truck. It's windy and getting cold here. Wyoming winter is it's coming at us. Anyway, y'all look out for one another. Be good to each other. Know that I love you. Nothing but love here. If you like what you hear, hit the like button. Anybody who subscribes to the channel, you're helping me out with what I'm trying to do. If you see any value in it, I'm not trying to be one of these smash the like button whores. But if you do see value in what I'm doing, it really does help me out. And it doesn't take much time just to hit the like button. I know that recently I've been doing the same with anybody that has content out there that I get any value from. I try and help them out. And you can do the same for me. And then I can keep this coming if it has value for you. If it doesn't, then you're probably not listening. At least I hope not. I hope there's not people out there just listening to what I say and just stew it and get upset about it, because really you have an option. You don't have to listen to what I have to say. And you can come at me too. And you can come on the show. So in the comments, if you put mic me up, I will do my best to get in touch with you and have you on the show. You know, I mean, if you disagree with me, or if you do agree with me, if you just want to come on and say what's up, I'd love to have anybody on. Anybody's welcome here. It's a revolving door. It's open. Anybody can come and go. Except for lobbyists or shitty politicians. Other than that, I mean, everybody's welcome here. You know what I'm saying? No doubt about it. So anyway, hope everybody has a great day. Be well, be kind in all things, except towards tyranny and tyrants. Fuck them. All right, but I love y'all. All right, I'm gonna take myself out and be well.
What happened to being nice without reason, man? All I see on TV and the paper stands is the lies that they feed to keep the upper hand. And we starving for truth, so we biting in. Okay, you know what happened to it takes a whole village, built on every single color, not privilege. If we all work together, we can fix this. Yeah, divided we fall, but together we in this. What happened to neighbors? When did we start seeing each other as strangers? It's on us to change this, and they gon' know us by our light by the end of the night. We gon' burn down London, fire in the streets of Chicago. You gon' hear us coming like thunder. There's riots on the streets and we're coming for you. Burn down LA, fire in the streets in New York City. No sleep, no slumber. There's riots on the streets and we're coming for you. Giving love just to get it back. We're so used to being wrong, so we feel attacked. We don't take it as a gift, but something more attached. Now we don't know how to live or forgive our past. Hey, so it's bleeding on every single thing that we have. But we leaning on these feelings whenever we sad. And we figure that nothing even better will have. So we sit here feeling even more detached. Yeah. I don't know about you, but I can use a little room to let the light through. I could use some good times and some bright news, but this won't happen unless we learn to fight too. What happened to neighbors? When did we start seeing each other as strangers? It's on us to change this, and they gon' know us by our light by the end of the night. We gon' burn down London, fire in the streets of Chicago. You gon' hear us coming like thunder. There's riots on the streets and we're coming for you. Burn down LA, fire in the streets in New York City. No sleep, no slumber. There's riots on the streets and we're coming for you.
Turn off your radio. Shut off your TVs. Put down your phone and open your eyes. Try to make us hate each other, and hate divides us. Only love can bring us together. Time to fight for one another and not against one another.
We gon' burn down London, fire in the streets of Chicago. You gon' hear us coming like thunder. There's riots on the streets and we're coming for you. Burn down LA, fire in the streets in New York City. No sleep, no slumber. There's riots on the streets and we're coming for you.
Hey, one last thing. If y'all like that tune right there, that's my boy Brandon Hart out of Los Angeles. And he is having a virtual concert on October the 23rd, and I want to say it's at 4 p.m. Pacific time. So anyway, it's $7. You can support him if you like his music. He's a really cool dude, really good cat. You know, I mean, the dude's just he's just a really good person, and I really dig his music and stuff. So anyway, if you got nothing to do on the 23rd, hey, check out Brandon Hart. All you got to do is Google him. Site comes up, buy some merch from him, pay $7, get a virtual ticket, and occupy your time for a little bit. Check the guy out. I mean, the dude's he's a pretty phenomenal guy and a great musician. So on that note, I'm out. All right, peace.